It's fairly obvious that those of us in the personal finance space absolutely love the Roth IRA as a tool to invest and build wealth. But the sad truth is that most Americans are not even contributing to a Roth IRA, much less taking full advantage and maxing it out every year. And if you clicked on this video, the odds are that you are already familiar with what a Roth IRA is and what the benefits are. Now, we will touch on those a little bit later on in the video, but the goal for this video is to talk more about how the Roth IRA is critical and powerful, and also talk about some of the reasons why so many Americans are not taking advantage. I will also add that you should hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on all of my latest videos. We're also trying to get to 400 subscribers, so I would really appreciate it. Thanks. I also want to add the disclaimer that I am not a financial advisor, and this is not investment advice. I'm just someone who is passionate about personal finance and loves to talk about the Roth IRA. But before you ever invest your money in anything, make sure to do your own research, and if needed, make sure you talk to a certified financial advisor. I think one of the key issues here is that the average American just does not understand how powerful the Roth IRA is. After all, for this year, 2024, the most you can even put in a Roth IRA is $7,000 annually. And while that's a good amount of money, a lot of people fail to see how that can turn into a significant amount of wealth. And to demonstrate how powerful it really can be, let's walk through a scenario. Let's say that someone decided to max out a Roth IRA every year. Well, here's how much they would have invested at age 65, depending on which age they got started at. To keep the numbers simple, let's say that the contribution limit stays the same at $7,000 over time, but keep in mind that in the real world, that will change year over year. And let's also assume an average annual rate of return of 8%. Well, if someone started really early and maxed out their Roth IRA every year starting at age 18, then at age 65, they will have contributed. Well, if someone started really early and maxed out their Roth IRA every year starting at age 18, $328,000 of their own money. But because of compound interest, their total investments will equal $3.3 million. But unless you get a great job right out of high school, it's going to be tough to do that. So what if you start at age 20? Well, someone at age 20 would have contributed $314,000 by the time they turn 65, and their investments would be worth $2.8 million, which is still a great return. For those that start at age 25, they will have contributed $279,000 of their own money, and their investments would total $1.8 million, which is still a great amount. But I just want to point out, waiting just 5 years from 20 to 25 means that you'll pretty much have $1 million less saved up in your Roth IRA. So I just want to highlight that the earlier you can start, the better. If you started at age 35, by the time you turn 65, you will have contributed $209,000, and your total investments would be worth $826,000. And it's better late than never, but I hope this illustrates how the power of your dollar drops off significantly as the years pass. If you started maxing out a Roth IRA at age 45, at age 65, you will have contributed a total of $139,000, and your investments would be worth $334,000. And if you start at age 55, you will have contributed almost $70,000, and your total investments will only have had 10 years to grow. So your total investments would be worth $105,000. And these numbers right here are why I wanted to make this video. Like I already mentioned, and as you can see, if you start out early, maxing out your Roth IRA can be an extremely powerful wealth building tool. It really is a cheat code for building wealth. And to max out your Roth IRA every year, it really only comes out to $583 every month. Now, on top of the example we just went through, there are tax benefits that the Roth IRA offers that make it even better. And I promise we're gonna get to those later in the video. But first, I wanna shift over to why Americans are not taking advantage of this. Also, here's your last reminder to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Again, we're trying to get to 400 subscribers, so I would really appreciate it. Thanks. So why do Americans put off investing in their Roth IRA? Well, I think the first reason is a lack of education. Surely they've probably heard of what a Roth IRA is, and they might have a limited understanding of how it works. But again, nobody has walked them through how powerful it can be when you factor in compound interest. And we've already covered a lot of this, so I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but I just want to add, make sure you are spreading the word. If you have friends or family that might be interested in opening a Roth IRA, but they might not know how, or they might not understand the importance, make sure you're reaching out and teaching them if they're open to it. because I don't think we can bank on the education system to actually teach this stuff. So again, we just want to make sure we're spreading the word as much as possible. All right, the second reason why Americans put off investing in a Roth IRA is because they don't understand investing and they feel overwhelmed at the prospect of getting started. And that's fair because there are so many things to actually invest your money in, and it's hard to know where to get started. And the good news is that investing can actually be super simple. In fact, for most people, simple will actually lead to better returns than if someone tried to manage their own complex portfolio on their own. If you want to learn more about what I invest in personally, I actually just did a video on that. So I'll link that right here if you want to check it out, and I'll also put it in the description. But to summarize that, I personally like to invest in low-cost index funds and target date retirement funds, both of which include a wide range of stocks, so I don't actually have to go and pick which companies I want to invest in. And the purpose of this video is not to go over specific investment options, so we won't go too far into that. But I just want to point out that investing does not need to be as complicated as a lot of people make it out to be. There are options out there that make it so that the average person can succeed. And the third reason why Americans do not invest in the Roth IRA is just because they have bad financial habits that prevent them from doing so. Simply put, a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck and don't have the margin in their income to invest towards retirement. Don't get me wrong, there are people out there who have a lower income, and because of inflation, they're trying their best to make ends meet. But there's also a lot of Americans that make six figures per year who are still in the trap of living paycheck to paycheck. The truth is that many people today do not have a detailed plan for their finances, and as a result, they typically end up blowing through everything that comes in. And this could be in the form of big one-time purchases like cars or vacations or luxury products or something else. But a lot of people do this by having a leaky bucket and slowly depleting their funds over time. Eating out, for example, is an example of how people overspend on a daily basis, because it doesn't seem like a bad idea to spend 20 bucks to treat yourself, and on its own, it's not. But when that becomes a habit every day and your income can't keep up with it, it does become a problem. So my advice here is to make sure you are tracking specifically where your money is going every month and making sure that you have the margin in your budget to actually invest towards your retirement. It's very simple advice, it's very easy to understand, but the stats show us that it's really not that easy because most people do not do it. But more on the Roth IRA itself. What is the actual benefit to using a Roth IRA? Why shouldn't you just go and open up a normal taxable brokerage and invest in there instead and not worry about the rules and restrictions that we're going to talk about in a minute? Well, like I said, the Roth IRA has some awesome tax incentives that make it one of the best investing accounts that you can use. And here's how it works. If you wanted to open and invest in a Roth IRA, you would contribute money that you've already paid taxes on. Another way to put that is that you won't receive any tax deductions at the end of the year for money that you put into your Roth IRA. So put simply, you pay your taxes up front. However, once that money is in there, it will grow tax-free, and even better, once you turn 59 and a half, you can also withdraw that money completely tax-free. If we look back at the example we did earlier, if you started maxing out your Roth IRA at 18 years old and you had $3.3 million in your Roth and you were older than 59 and a half, then that entire $3.3 million is yours and you will not have to pay taxes on any of it. Now, I would recommend that you keep most of it invested and keep it growing. Don't just pull it all out at once and blow it. But the point is, all that money is yours. And the government knows that this is an extremely powerful investing tool, which is why there are also limits and restrictions, which we're going to go over now. The first one is, which I've already mentioned, is that there is an annual limit on how much you can put in a Roth IRA. For 2024, that limit is $7,000. And if you're married and filing your taxes jointly, then it's double. You can do $14,000 total between the two of you. However, if you're 50 years or older, that limit actually increases to $8,000, making it easier for those who are older to catch up on their retirement investing. Keep in mind that these limits do change year to year, so make sure you're staying up to date whenever you're contributing to a Roth. All right, the second restriction is that there is an income limit as well to determine whether someone is eligible for a Roth IRA. If you make too much, you will not be able to contribute to one. But don't worry, because there is a workaround I will mention in a second. If you're single, then in order to be eligible for a Roth IRA, your modified adjusted gross income must be less than $146,000 per year. However, if you're married and filing your taxes jointly, your combined MAGI must be less than $230,000 per year. However, if you make more than those limits and feel like you are missing out, then don't worry, because you can actually get around this by doing a backdoor Roth IRA. And I know how it sounds, don't worry, because it's completely legal. The backdoor Roth IRA is a conversion strategy where essentially you contribute to a traditional IRA, which does not have any income restriction. And then once you have done that, you convert that traditional IRA over to a Roth IRA. Make sure you talk to your brokerage before trying to do this to ensure that you do it properly so that you don't run into any trouble during tax season, because no one wants to be in trouble with the IRS. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope this was helpful in demonstrating the power of the Roth IRA and why really everyone should be taking advantage of it. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, make sure to hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one.